2021. I would like to thank the scientific committee of AIOS for honoring me by giving this great opportunity to give this oration. The topic is changing trends in ophthalmology, because to talk anything in ophthalmology, I'm totally outdated. And to talk about farming, I'm sure the audience will not be interested. So I thought I selected a common subject to share my experience. Regarding Dr. Daljit Singh, he was contemporary, the same years of practice, ophthalmology. He served as a member of faculty at the Government Medical College all these years. He brought the lens implant history to India in late 70s and performed large volume cataract surgery, especially with this iris claw lens, with excellent results in the eye camp. He was a great teacher and a great innovator, and his award, Padma Shri Award, he has received the most prestigious awards and Dr. B.C. Roy Award. In those days, I mean, even now, the ophthalmologists admire him as a great hero. Now, before starting my real topic, I would like to share my journey. From 68 to 76, I was in the government service as a medical officer. And I was very lucky to have Dr. Venkatsamy, my elder brother, who was the head of the department. From 76 to 2010, my journey was completely in Aravind Eye Hospital. I spent 34 years as a full-time ophthalmologist, as a surgeon, as a teacher, as a trainer. I think you must all remembering that in early 90s, we had Sight Savers IOL microsurgery program. And I was involved almost for 10 to 12 years. About 2,000 ophthalmologists from India and other countries were trained. And I really enjoyed my position as a director of human resource, as an administrator, and as a director. And I retired from a clinical service in 2010. The reason for retirement were very simple. My knowledge was not updated in ophthalmology. Number two, my surgical skills were not up to the quality work. And three, my reflexes were becoming slow. So I decided that I should quit my clinical work and take care of the administrative and other work in Aravind Eye Care System. My journey from 2010 to 2021 as a farmer. I come from a farmer's family. I have gone into farmer's family. So I'm spending most of my time in farming, learning new techniques, appreciating what our forefathers did. I always think we were not born as ophthalmologists. We need not cling on to ophthalmology forever. Whatever you do, enjoy it. Now, coming to the topic, it's very close to my heart. Ophthalmology has undergone radical changes in India than any other specialty, especially from 70 to 2000. So our batch, like our age group, people born between 1940 and 1935 to 1945, we had seen all the transformations, right from the type of patients to the investigation equipments. Now, ophthalmology has undergone a radical changes in India than any other specialty. Why? I could make out four main reasons. One reason, IOL surgery came into practice in the 1980s. Technology and equipment were improved, giving the best visual outcome to the patients. So this created a big awareness in the ophthalmic patients in the community. Number two reason, second reason was the able leaders in the government sector who were keen in developing ophthalmology throughout India. In various states, we had excellent leaders, and they raised the standard of ophthalmology. And number third reason I could make out was a large non-profit organization for eye care services started, like Aravind Eye Hospital, Madurai, LV Prasad in Hyderabad, and Shankar Netra in Chennai in late 70s and early 80s. And similar centers, non-profit organization, were also started in various states subsequently. And these centers started offering postgraduate training, fellowship courses in ophthalmology. The other fourth reason I thought was the ophthalmology became a window for the body. So all peripheral, all of the other parts of medicines were referring cases to us. For example, neurologist, neurosurgeon, radiologist were referring cases on neuro-ophthalmology, and endocrinologists started referring thyroid, thymus, and pituitary, and the metabolic dysfunctions, physicians started referring to them, and immunologists were referring cases. So almost all the specialties in the body had some representation in the eye, so that our pride went up lately. So ophthalmology started becoming an attractive specialty for young doctors. But when we joined, it was not so. Now coming to the patient's approach, what have they changed now? Now in 70s, when we started practice, you can see the ophthalmologist's pride, confidence, smile, that little bit of ego, and the patient on your right side, very humble, very sitting very quietly and says, doctor is asking, what is your problem? The doctor, I'm not able to see well in both eyes. I've come here to see you what best you could do. You're like my God. So total surrender of the patient to the doctor as we surrender to the God for thing. But in 2000, the whole thing changed. The patient, the doctor again is asking, what is your problem? And the patient says, I have immature cataract in my right eye, and please do phaco with foldable lens. Let me know what lens you're going to put. The trust is not there. That modesty was not there. And the doctor is considered as a technician. That was because of the technology and the great awareness among the patients. Now coming to the medical record, all these changes I have seen in my ophthalmic journey. We have seen a white piece of white paper in 60, and patient used to keep it very carefully. Subsequently, a white paper with a seal was our case sheet. Then we had a regular case sheets where we had coloring code for all the specialties. And then for the last 2 years, the EMR has come. Somehow my generation or myself, I'm not able to accept it because there is no contact between the eyes of the technician or the doctor to the patient. So that is the trend that we are going through. Coming to the equipments, main instruments, we could manage our life with torchlight. Dr. Venkatsamy is examining a patient in a camp with the torchlight, and direct ophthalmoscope, Chiard stonometer, trial set, and basic surgical instruments. With the above instruments, we were able to diagnose, treat most of the eye problems. Today, we have all these sophisticated instruments, equipments, starting from slit lamp, custom-made operating microscope. I was told there are some microscopes listen to doctor's command.
Madam, you are muted. Madam, Nashan, muted. Yes, ma'am. Carry on, please, ma'am.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The recent advances, I'm sorry, now we have OCT, all those investigations are available. I hardly see any patient coming with any complaint, will not leave the hospital without undergoing an OCT. The common diseases, what we saw those days, were infections like conjunctivitis, corneal ulcers, dacryocystitis, cystitis, and endophthalmitis, refractory error, and cataract, especially mature to hypermature, and glaucoma and detachment, which came in advanced cases because the diagnosis became much later because of lack of knowledge and equipments. And rare diseases, of course, diabetic retinopathy we have seen, but it didn't have much importance those days. And there was no classification. And whatever, any changes in the macula, we call it macular degeneration. ARMD, autoimmune disease, dry eye. I've never heard of dry eye during my ophthalmic practice. Today, all these diseases have become so chronic, and few of these diseases are common cause of blindness. The type of cataract we saw, mature, pearly white in both eyes. And patients, when they come with bilateral mature cataract, we used to do intracapsular cataract extraction and give a +10 glasses, and you can see a divine smile in their faces. But today, very early cataract, hard to diagnose a cataract. Patients come with 6/9 or 6/6 partial, and even with your best surgery, they are not that happy as we used to do in aphakic patients. The technique we used to do naked eye, with the naked eye, you can see Dr. Venkatsamy is using a loop to perform surgery under a torchlight in 60s. And microsurgery started in 84. Today, we have any number of sophistications in the surgical microscopes. Now, cataract surgery technique also changed in our period. We started ECCE, no suture. Then ICCE, 7 or 8 sutures, almost like a keratoplasty. Then SICS in 90, and Phaco and Femto. But between SICS, Phaco, and Femto, the quality of vision is not that great, but still we are being completely dependent on the modern technology to convince our patients. In our days, the patients were used to stay for 10 days in the hospital in supine position with the sandbags on either side because there were no sutures. With sutures, they were staying 3 days. But for the last few years, they go home in 10 days, and we ophthalmologists took as a pride by sending them as early as possible. Regarding optical dispensing, lots of changes have occurred: monofocal, bifocal, trifocal, progressive, which is also suitable according to the age and occupation. The consultation fee, those days we were charging 10 rupees. Today we charge 100. This varies. So earlier, almost all ophthalmologists were general ophthalmologists. They were practicing, they were seeing all types of cases, and very hardly referral system was there. Now, there are every subspecialty, every structure has a subspecialty. And this results in extra time and cost to the patient, thus making the process very complex. So out of all these things, what did we gain? We have gained a lot with technology, a lot. It's an equipment, new surgeries, new investigations, new drugs. Our work has become very simple. We can see more number of patients. We could diagnose perfectly, and we could start the treatment early. We could do anything through teleophthalmology, and we could give training to young ophthalmologists. They used to assist us in those days. Then we used to handhold them for a few cases, and then they will do few steps individually. So it took a little longer time. Today we have a lot of simulators. So ultimately they are able to learn in a quicker time. And publications and research work have increased. So these are all the main things we have gained after input technology. What did we lose? We have lost many things. We have lost connection with the patient. We do not have time in collecting patient's history. We hardly see the face of the patient. We hardly examine the patient clinically. We hardly communicate to the patient. With modern equipments were not available in the earlier days, doctors depend on their experience, intuitions, and clinical knowledge to arrive at a diagnosis. As a neuro-ophthalmologist, my teachers have trained me how to use your clinical skill. For example, how the patient is walking, how the patient is looking, how the patient is blinking. So we used to do a simple pupillary examination, fundus examination, and field study to come to diagnose nature of lesion, location of the lesion, and lateralizing the lesion. It used to be like a treasure hunt. Now, before we see the patient, we see the scan to get a quick diagnosis. So as a result, we fail to apply our clinical knowledge or acumen, and our decision-making skills have gone down. Always remember, the equipment by itself cannot diagnose a case or perform surgery. What matters is the doctor's competency, knowledge, and approach towards patients. The entire world is fighting today unitedly against coronavirus. In spite of having all the most modern technology, we are still stuck with the virus, though a year has passed since its outbreak. We think we are progressing with technology. We may continue to have such similar shocks in future. We ourselves are responsible. Situations like this are nature's strong reminders to us that it is time to return to nature, hold on to our traditions, and above all, practice humanity in all aspects. Finally, being of service to God and humanity means going well beyond the sophistication of the best technology to the humble demonstration of courtesy and compassion to each patient whom we serve. This is the only profession we can serve and earn money. And this profession gives us a lot of trust and pride and respect among the community. To summarize, I'm not against technology. Technology is always welcoming and we should have it. You're all, the young ophthalmologists are very lucky to have technology that helps a lot in eye care. At the same time, we should always keep in mind that we should not go away from the patient in the name of using technology. Be empathetic to your patients, maintain a connect with them. You will surely reach the heights in your professional life, and your personal life also will be successful. Thank you once again for giving this great opportunity to allow me to share my ophthalmic journey.